So this is the Pace Edwards power tailgate lock for the Tacoma. This is on my 2014 Toyota Tacoma. It says it'll work from 2005 to current. And here it is in action. Unlock, lock. Now if you open the handle, you can't open. It's blocked. Before I show you some of the components and how I installed them, I want to say a few things about the Pace Edwards power tailgate lock versus the pop and lock power tailgate lock. Obviously the pop and lock is the more popular of the two. I can only find a few reviews for the Pace Edwards lock, and they were all positive, but people agreed that the instructions were a little bit hard to follow. It's just a sheet of paper with a couple of steps, but it's really bare bones on how to install it. So some of the spots were kind of tricky, and I'll go over that. But why I chose the Pace Edwards power tailgate lock for the Tacoma is that you get to keep the factory tailgate handle. A lot of the reviews for the pop and lock said that the plastic handle was really cheap, and that for a lot of people they broke within 2 years, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. So I got the Pace Edwards power tailgate lock, and I'm really happy with it so far. At the time that I'm filming this, I've been using it for a couple weeks, and it's rock solid. Locks and unlocks every time. Connecting the wiring under the kick panel was a little tricky, and you'll see that, but all in all, it was pretty straightforward, and I'm really happy with it. So it's really easy to install the actuator. You just remove these two bolts that hold the tailgate handle onto the tailgate, and this is what I was saying about being able to keep your factory tailgate handle. So all it is this actuator that gets wired through the tailgate under the truck to the engine, to the battery, and then to your power door locks. And the pop and lock, it's this whole assembly that you replace. It comes with its own plastic handle, and apparently it's super cheap plastic that breaks, so this is way better. So this is me pulling the tailgate handle, and then when you lock it, let me find the keys in my pocket, it's going to block that mechanism and prevent it from opening. And then the actuator connects to a wire harness that's about 15 or 20 feet long that goes all the way under the truck to the engine compartment to the battery. And so you just follow, that's the backup camera wiring, just follow that factory wiring all the way through the tailgate, across, and then under the truck right there. And so in order to route this wire out of the tailgate, there's a little plastic clip right here, a wire guard that goes over the factory wiring, and you have to cut a notch in that in order to fit the wire through. And so the way you do that is you push on that clip, and this whole piece can come out, and it splits in two, and you can take it out from around this plastic conduit, and then you can drill a hole that's the diameter of this wire, and then take a razor blade and cut down to it, and that's a standard slot cutting technique. So that's how you route the wire out of the tailgate, follow it across, and then under the truck through here there's an identical plastic clip, and you cut another plastic notch in that same way, and then it goes across following the factory wiring to the driver's side, and then all the way under the truck to the engine compartment. And I'll show you that in a sec. Here's the bumper. Here's where it comes in to the frame through the tailgate. This is the wire. I followed the factory wiring, zip tied, all the way across to the driver's side, and basically you just follow this factory conduit all the way to the engine compartment. This is an upside down shot. So this is it installed in the engine compartment. This black wire here runs from the tailgate up under the car, up through the engine compartment, up to here, connects to the battery, and then to the frame for ground. And that right there is the relay, I believe. And then this wire loom goes in through the firewall down into the kick panel. So what I wanted to share was the issue I had connecting the wiring near your kick panel and your driver's side door, because the instructions were really not clear about that. It said connect to the blue with red and the blue with black wire. And when you look at all the wiring down here, there's like 3 dozen wires. It really wasn't clear. So the biggest and most obvious blue with red and blue with black are right here. So I connected to those, wasn't getting any signal to the actuator in the back. And then after calling Pace Edwards and walking me through it, they just said to get a test light and start probing wires. So that's what I did. And I finally traced it down to this blue with black. I don't think you can see the black stripe, but it's there. And then in the bundle below it is a blue with red. So the wires are in two separate bundles. They both go through the little rubber grommet to your door to the power lock and unlock. And I took all that out and tested the wires, traced it back to these two. I just wanted to point out that these are the little quick splice wire connectors that they give you. So you latch that over the wire and it slices through the insulation. And then you put this end of the wire loom over the male end of the connector and you have electrical contact. These are my band-aids from the wires that I spliced into trying to find the right one. So now I'm just cleaning everything up and put the kick panel back on, and that's it. One more thing to note is that after you've installed everything, you'll have some slack in your wiring to tidy up, and I coiled all mine up nicely in the tailgate where it's not going to get in the way of anything. And the Pace Edwards has a 3-year warranty, so I highly recommend it over the pop and lock.